Hi, my name is Martha Wood. I was born on May 4th, 1906, here in Graham, Texas. My parents were Wade Allen Morris Jr. and Layla Gay. My father, Wade Allen Morris Jr., was born on April 19th, 1873, on a farm outside of Austin. His father was a dentist, and his mother was a predominant member of a prestigious Austin family, the Mabrys. My father attended school in Austin and then went to the University of Pennsylvania, where they had the best dental college in the nation. Then he moved to Graham in 1894 because his uncle, R.E. Mabry, was located here as a cattleman and a banker. My father spent several years traveling small towns in West Texas on a buggy, setting up shop and stores. He eventually would travel the Fort Worth and Denver Railroad on with a folded chair, a foot motor, and a box full of dental equipment. My mother moved to Graham in 1892 to teach school and to help her aged father. My parents married on April 19th, 1899 in Graham, Texas. Sorry. I graduated from Graham in 1922. They were, sorry, one last thing I forgot. I forgot to mention my sisters. My parents had three daughters, Lucy Gay, me, Martha May, and Layla Catherine Morris. I graduated from Graham in 1922 and moved to Fort Worth to attend Texas Christian University. There I met a young man, Raymond Baron Beowulf, born on July 15th of 1904 in Chicago, Illinois. He was attending TCU on an athletic scholarship for both football and baseball. There, he would be all-conference guard and field goal kicker in football, and all-conference first baseman and hitter in baseball. I, gradu- I graduated with my teacher's certificate and began teaching in Young County. After 1 year, I decided I wanted to be a principal, so I returned back to TCU to work on my master's. In the spring of 1927, Raymond was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. He debuted as the first baseman in July 27th of 1927, where he played his first and final game after suffering an irreparable knee injury. We got married on May 25th of 1928. Then we moved back to TCU to work on our masters. After we graduated, Raymond became the assistant football coach at TCU. He eventually would become a varsity football coach in both baseball and football, and as well as a sports athletic director before being called to North Carolina in 1936. And in true form, wherever his coaching took him, I would either be teaching at the college or the public school in the same town. After World War II broke out, Raymond decided to join the Navy and rose in ranks to lieutenant commander and was responsible for physical training at 3 tree flight centers. I moved back to Graham to live with my parents during the war. We wrote to each other every week. Raymond rarely talked about the war years because they were really tough on us both. After the World War II was over, Raymond became head coach and athletic director for the University of Florida and eventually Tulane University. We returned to Fort Worth in 1941 and attended the University Christian Church. There we were active members of the church as well as the university community. We also were involved with the Fort Worth Boys Club, where my husband served as a director from 1941 to 1954. In 1954, the president of TCU called my husband back to help out with a new student job placement program. He would first be the assistant to the president and then eventually the director to the department. Raymond served TCU until his retirement in 1976. In 1972, my health began to fail. After watching my mother pass in 1947 and my father in 1957, I passed away on January 3rd, 1973. I was survived by my husband and my two sisters. Lucy Gay Morris retired from the Graham Insurance Agency. Layla Catherine worked in Washington, D.C., and later after retirement, worked for the county agent. We had no children, and my sisters never married. Raymond grew up in the Catholic Church, but eventually became First Christian since that's what I grew up in. But after my death, he renewed his interest in the Catholic Church. He passed away on October 3rd of 1979 and was brought here to the Oak Grove Cemetery to be laid to rest. He was survived by one brother. Thank you.